Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
You're trying to get things going. Nothing just want to work the way it want to work, right? So do me a favor, real fast, bro. We're going to give a shout out to our field soldiers. Shout out to the field soldiers. I know the apostrophe is all jacked up. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, guys. All 2,800 of you. We're trying to grow the channel. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm going to be doing some work on the set. I'm going to be trying to liven up the show a little bit, work on the show a little bit, and so on and so forth. I don't know what 5x5 is renewable. You're going to have to explain that one to me. I'm not all about that technicalities, man, all that audio equipment stuff. Man, I moved away from the IT space a long time ago and moved into management. I had to do some, matter of fact, I had to do some help desk type of work for my wife yesterday, help set her up for a new job. And I just felt lost, man. I hadn't done that stuff in about 12 years. Your boy done got promoted a few times since the last time I had to do help desk support. Anyway, welcome back, Bears fans. Want to chat it up with you, man. Let's talk Justin Fields. Let's talk Chicago Bears. Let's talk Matt Eberflus. Let's talk Luke Getsy, man. We'll talk some Allen Williams. We'll talk about that defense, too. Definitely want to make a comment on the special teams play. Not so much how they're being coached, but if y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all saw I called your boy Khalil Herbert out, Khalil Juice Herbert out, and on his terrible block or non-block on the block punt that actually went for a touchdown. And you know, for all my Twitter followers that continuously want to argue with me about Khalil Herbert being a better running back than David Montgomery. You know what? I'll tell you what, man. I'll humor you. I'll patronize you on that. Let's say he is a better running back. He's not a good a teammate. He's not a good a football player, right? And if he played for me, I'm telling you, he wouldn't play. I'm going ahead and jumping straight into it, man. It's just like that. I'll start there because I think when you have a team that's on the fringe, right? You have a young team. You have a team that's on the fringe of becoming something. You have a team that one or two plays is the difference between, whether you win a game or you lose a game. I'll relax there a little bit. I was tensed up a little bit. You have a team, you're on the cusp of whether you win or lose a game. And you have crap like this. Matter of fact, let me take you to it because I think a lot of fans probably didn't know or didn't see, what happened on the actual block punt and who was responsible for it. So I'm gonna cue it up here real fast and see if I can get this thing to cooperate. Oh yeah, we got liftoff. And I'm gonna cue it up for y'all so y'all can see, exactly what happened on the play, and then we can talk about it. Because it's just unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable when you're trying to develop a young team. You're trying to get them to play winning football. Let me see if this is your boy Khalil Herbert down here at the bottom. A wing spot, the left wing spot at the bottom of your screen, not the gunner that's lined up at a pseudo wide receiver spot. This is Khalil at the wing spot here, right? And the job he does here, I mean, this is indicative of what he does in pass pro, right? This is his pass. This is a special teams play, but this is similar to what I've seen in his pass protection, blocking. You have to be a good teammate, first of all. You're not that guy yet. You're not the big contract league known guy yet. And you got to keep in mind, these guys that play special teams, man, these other dudes on the other side, they're fighting for their lives. They're not big contract guys. They're guys that's they're fighting to stay off the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? They feed their families. They're minimum salary guys. And you got one job, Khalil Herbert, right here. You got one job to block this guy at the bottom of the screen right here. And what do? You know what I'm saying? You're not a good football player. You know what I'm saying? You piss your pants, you put your head down so you can't see what you're hitting. And the guy just, you know what I'm saying? He just gives you the old Flojo move right here. This, like he's auditioning for the 2024 Olympics, and you get nothing. Look at this. You're laying on the ground. You get nothing. The guy blocks the punt, and his buddy scoops it up and takes it in and score. And this is the difference. This is the difference between a win and a loss for a young team. A young team like this. This is the difference between winning and losing for a young team like this. And you just got to be a better football player, right? You can't coach effort, man. You can't coach effort. And the thing about it is, I'm going to be interested to see what happens this week, because for all intents and purposes, Velus Jones is a healthy scratch this week, because of course the wide receiver depth chart got pushed down because of the signing of Chase Claypool. But from a coach's perspective, Matt Eberflus has to be consistent in his messaging, right? So Velus, he's not making plays. I don't know how he's been practicing, but I don't know if Khalil Herbert's actually doing the right job in practice and being put in the right position and then just goes in the game and does what he wants. But there has to be a level of accountability to crap like this. And you have to be consistent across the board and call guys out, man. That for me would have been the number one play, as it was for you guys. It would have been the number one play that I threw up on the board when we come in for field session on this weekend. I'm like, you need to explain that to your teammates. Explain to the other 10 guys on the field and the other 43 guys on the sideline, you know what I'm saying? Why did you decide to take a play off? You're the backup running back, for God's sake. You're not getting, 30 carries a game. You might be getting 12 at best, and you play special teams. I could find a guy off the street or the practice squads that wants to get that rep and can do a better job than that. So that's my soapbox moment on that, because, very few times do we see, where guys just consistently not make plays. And yeah, I tagged him on Twitter on the highlight and posted on Twitter like he can't play. And the other part is, somebody put it in the comments, it's time, man. It's time. And I've been patient, right? I've been patient. I'm not going to turn this into a rant session, right? Because y'all know I don't specialize in the bitching and moaning type of content creation on YouTube. But it's time, man. It's time for these guys to grow up, right? I see somebody commenting, EQ drops a ball, right? If Justin Fields does something, Darnell Mooney does something, they miss a play, you see things like these guys stand back, show the pass off. Darnell Mooney drops a ball. He's gonna stay back and catch 1,000 balls before he leaves the stadium that day, right? Those guys staying after practice and getting extra reps. Dude, if you wanna be a pro at this, if you wanna be great at this, you have to, one, make routine plays, but also you have to put in the work, man. It's like, dude, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in certain situations with some of these players, man, the mentality. But I'm going to tell you right now, with the national media finally catching on to the Justin Fields craze, and I'll talk about that a little bit, You know, guys have to do their jobs and realize, you know, that EQ drop at the end of the game in 2 minute drive, that play's going to be on everybody's looped all week, and you're going to, you know, the national media is already taking the narrative that, oh, okay, at first it was Justin Fields, the coaching was crap, the O line was crap, you know, the GM's crap. Oh, okay, the offensive coordinator's crap. Oh, now that offense is taking off, averaging about 30 points a game now. Now they always gonna find a negative narrative. And you don't want to be the guy. You don't want to be the one that's on a continual loop throughout the week that they're highlighting. EQ. I had to highlight the Khalil Herbert whiff right there because fans won't see that. You know, it's a special teams play. Fans won't go back and look at the film. They won't see that guys, you know, and I could pull up probably a 3 to 4 plays every game where Khalil Herbert might be in pass protection, right? When you guys would blame it on the offensive line and say the offensive line doesn't know how to block. No, Khalil Herbert's back there in pass pro, and you know what I'm saying? He couldn't hit water if he jumped out a boat. You know what I'm saying? But you guys want to line him up and give him the ball. You want to ship David Montgomery off thinking, you know, it's the end all be all to playing football. No. You know, the great ones, right? The Walter Paytons, the great running backs of the league, even the smaller ones, right? The LaDainian Tomlinsons, right? The smaller running backs who excelled in this league were great pass protection guys. If you want to be on the field 3 downs, you want to be the primary back, you have to block. And this guy, I had one of those arguments, I think Wednesday night, man, with somebody. And this guy is just not the guy. He's not the dude, right? I'm telling you, he would have came. If it was me, he would have got scout team reps all week. He would have got, you know, let me pull somebody off of the dang on practice squad and to send a message to my football team that this is not the standard, right? So anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. Let me jump into these comment sections real fast. I'm gonna see what y'all talking about because we're gonna have a conversation tonight since I'm on a work hiatus, if you will. Before we do that though, do me a favor, run those likes up so we can get this algorithm buzzing. Have other people join the conversation as we're talking. Let me jump straight into the DM section real fast. See what our friend Shannon is talking about. Shouldn't the coaches know he isn't good at blocking and not put him there? Yeah, but come on, you're a professional football player, right? You're a professional football player. What is I'm not good at blocking? What somebody define that for me. And I'm not coming at you, Shannon, but somebody come and define that for me when you're a professional football player. Right? You're a professional football player. You're not the guy yet. You're in your rookie contract. What were you signed at? What round was he signed in? 3rd, 4th? Right? You're not that dude yet. Right? You're looking at potentially becoming a league minimum dude, right? At some point, if you don't get it together. You have to prove your worth every day. There's somebody vying for your job every day. Right? So, no, I'm not accepting it. I'm not putting that on the coaches because I refuse to believe. Here's the thing that I will say about how special teams reps do happen in most practices, right? You very rarely get live hitting looks, live contact on special teams in practice, right? Now this week, I would give them some live reps in this situation. Because we got guys that don't want to do their jobs, but as a point of emphasis, but you try to be the balanced coach and say, hey, I need to save some contact or some wear and tear on my players' bodies where I can. So a lot of times you'll run, punt team out there. Okay, punt team runs out there. They'll punt a few. I know when I coach special teams, I'll let the punter punt like 2 or 3. The center just snapped the ball. The punt team just steps to their spots, to where they should be blocking. We will walk down the line and go over assignments, who's doing what. I'll let the guy punt 2 or 3, and then the last one, I'll let the guy kick it down the field or punt it down the field, and then you guys just run and running and run down the field and practice breaking down and collapsing on the actual ball carrier and get off the field. But I'm not running any live contact reps on punt team. Same thing with kickoff, same thing with kick return. Maybe in the preseason when we're trying to get guys used to doing their jobs, but not 9 games into the season. That's just piss poor effort, man. Y'all see how much I it's not that I don't like Khalil Herbert. I love him as a runner. I just can't stand, piss poor effort. The coach in me starts to come out, man, and I really, start having soapbox moment here. Deshaun, my man, says, listen, man, Pose needs to draft a wide receiver in the first round. I don't think so. I don't think so. First of all, I would say this, right? The free agents class is trash this coming up off season. The 2023 free agent class is meh, right? It's mid at best. And from what I'm hearing, this wide receiver class is mid at best coming out this year. So from what I'm hearing, right? So what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think a lot of Bears fans will probably be disappointed. One, because whatever it seems to be doing, whatever we seem to want as Bears fans, and I mean, look at last offseason, bro. It was a shoe-in to us that we would get a wide receiver to pair with Justin. We would get offensive linemen, and we would begin to build the team from there. But these players differently. I will say this. I don't expect us, one, to end up with 8 picks at the end of the game like we have now. We have 7 or 8, I believe. I think it's 8. So I don't believe our final count will be 8 picks. I do believe, man, it's hard to say. I don't want to say with this group. They're just so different in their approach. I will say this. I believe Ryan and Ian believe in their ability to draft offensive linemen is better than the majority of the other teams in the NFL. I believe they really believe in their ability to spot and scout and draft offensive linemen better than I say 2/3 of the league. I think they believe they're in the top 1/3 of finding gems, offensive linemen that can be developed into what they should be. I was going back and forth with somebody on my last video about the draft and all this other stuff, and I really don't believe we need 2 tackles in this draft. Right? I believe Braxton Jones has proven himself. We're 9 games into the season, and Braxton hasn't been the problem. The only criticism I would have of Braxton Jones is Braxton needs to get stronger because he's susceptible to the bull rush, and he's faced a lot of speed rushes this year. And the times that he has faced bull rushes are guys that can just barrel down to his chest. He struggled with them. So yeah, he needs to get in the weight room in the off season. He's probably not had that training like that coming out of a small program in Utah State where he came from. Utah State. Southern Utah. Was it Southern Utah? I'm having a moment today. Either way, coming out of a small program he came out of, I just don't believe they had the resources probably to get him where he needs to be strength wise. But a good off season here in Chicago, and I think he should be straight. And he'll be a shoe in at that position. I do believe we can't go into another season. We have to have an answer at right tackle, a long-term answer, and that's not to disparage Larry Borum and the job he's done. He's done a great job. They may see him as the right tackle of the future. I feel like Riley Reif has come in and done a better job in the last 2 weeks than Bourne was doing before. And again, he wasn't playing exactly bad. I just think Riley has, veteran presence and move and technique that sets him above that much, more above Larry Bourne does. And if you could do that, at this stage of his career, then perhaps we need to start looking for the right tackle of the future. Maybe Riley has a year or two left in him. It can be that veteran presence on the offensive line, and we can have be a bridge guy. But at some point, we need to find the guy, right? And then other questions up front, like, is this going to be a consistent thing with Luka Patrick as far as being injured and stuff like that? We need to find answers, but I don't think you go into this draft and like saying we gotta do anything, right? We gotta do this. No, we got a quarterback, right? We have a offensive coordinator that knows how to free him up, and is starting to develop this offense, right? And I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit, right? How fans, you guys, we need to change our mindsets when it comes to football, period. And I've been trying to preach this all year. And some people are picking up on it, others not. But we need to change our mindset when it comes to football. It's not Madden. You don't just roll a team out there that hasn't been together, new GM, new coach, quarterback in his second year, where it was basically his rookie year, new players, first time playing together, new language, all that other stuff. And, they hitting on all cylinders. That's why I call week 8 to 12 our key weeks to see the progress in this offense. And so enough, we started peaking around week 7, 3 weeks ago. And I think we're going to see another couple weeks of good offense. And then we're going to hit a wall before the offense has to evolve again, right? But yeah, we got to get out of the mindset of plug and play. Oh, just get a player and it works. We should go to the Super Bowl. No, this particular team is different than other teams in the sense that we have to build a football team. We have to build an offense, right? We have to get the coordinator, the quarterback, the offensive lineman, the receivers all on the same page. We're going to have to rebuild this defense. We're going to have to do all this and go through a process, and not this, hey, let's just, this guy's a free agent. Let's go sign this guy for $50 million per year and blow up our salary cap. And we have 1 year success. And then now we're back in the crapper for another, 3 decades. No, if y'all want to see long-term sustainable success in this football team and the football franchise, you have to get on board with the plan that the system is the star. The system, right? The offensive system, the style of play will be the star. I love Luke Getsy and how he didn't panic early in the season, right? Hell, I'm sitting here holding the clipboard. I'm at the practices. I know what we have. We'll get there. The shot said EQ needs to be cut. That dude can't catch. Man, listen, I'm saying give somebody else a try. Open up the competition, man. Back in practice, like there's no shoe-ins. You got them, dude. You're a professional football player. You have to make the play. You have to make the play. You have to make the play. Shannon say I'm excited about my team. I'm making my way back through the comments, so I may be hitting some old comments, and then I'll catch up with the ones down at the bottom. What up? What up? Who that shout me out? Deacon Fu. What up, my guy? Shannon says what you're saying is if you're the backup running back, you need to do these things. Absolutely. If you're on my football team, you need to be able to, watch this, run, block, tackle. That's football. We taught you that in Pee Wee. We taught you that in Pop Warner. Run, block, tackle. You're a football player first. Yeah, you need to be able to do those things. You're part of a football team. That's effort. Blocking is effort. Blocking is technique. Yeah, it's a little bit technique, but what you saw was piss poor effort. Piss poor effort. If you watch this guy throughout the season It's not for a lack of want to or ability. He's definitely an athlete. You don't make it to the NFL not being an athlete. It's being selfish. And that's the part that's the most egregious about what's happening. Even on the run plays or the pass plays where you're supposed to be in pass pro, and you're thinking, oh, okay, he's supposed to be chipping here to help out a tackle or on a particular a pass set, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a lazy chip, and then I'm gonna leak out into the flat and try to get a reception because I'm trying to get my hands on the ball. Like, I recognize it because I've had players, do that before and been that guy. And I'll be in the room with the clicker in my hand, what I'm saying, chewing on the new one because in front of the team because he's not putting forth that effort. Yes, you have to be able to do that job. That is the job of a running back. I can't emphasize this enough for you. Those of you that watch the show, a running back does more than just run the ball. Just like a quarterback does more than just throw the ball. A quarterback has to call out, change pass protection. He has to make pass protection adjustments. And again, if you're a casual fan, you don't know football, you wouldn't know that. After the center calls out the mic, right? After he calls out, makes the initial line call, right? And the quarterback starts his cadence, it's incumbent upon the quarterback after he starts his cadence to make any adjustments to the blocking or the protection after he starts his cadence. It's on him. So yeah, his job is just more than throwing the ball, right? Or starting the play or handing the ball off or reading coverages. You have to recognize blitzes. You have to recognize the fronts, right? The fronts, how many defensive linemen, how many down linemen do you have? How many linebackers do you have? What's the numbers? Do you have more to the right? What's the numbers to your right or your left of the center? Do you have more to the right that's on the line of scrimmage that potentially blitzing than you do the left? Okay, you got to slot the protection as a quarterback to the right or to the left. You have to do all that. That's part of your job. Just like the running back. You have to run the ball, yes, but you also have to block. Just like you guys don't pay attention to Cole Kmet's responsibility in the run game. Everybody's like, Cole's a bust, Cole's a bust. And everybody else that knows football is saying, I think Trent Dilfer was like, hey man, I like this Cole guy. He's one of the better athletes. He's one of the better football players on the team. Yeah, and fans are like, what are you talking about? He ain't getting any stats. Listen, do me a favor. Do me a favor. I'm having a moment right here. Do me a favor. Quit fantasy football. Stop playing fantasy football. It's ruining you guys' perspective of football, right? If you only look at stats on players, you're not going to learn anything about football because that's the result. How we got to the stats, context matters, right? Stay away from stat sheets. If you want to learn football, that's why I don't play fantasy football. I think it's just a personal thing. It's an old man thing. No, it just sucks. I'm just gonna say it. What for? What? Why? Why? I don't want to. That's like pissing upstream and drinking water downstream, right? You don't know what actually happened in the game. You're not understanding coverages. You're not understanding concepts. You're not understanding what's the nuances of football. You're playing on the results, the stats, the leftovers of what happened, right? That's why I don't mess with that stuff. Anyway, soapbox moment. It just drives me nuts. It's a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, my man Rock Davis, let me get to you, man. He said, yo, coach, maybe they overlook that because they have to pay Montgomery more money, not Herbert. I don't know, man. I don't think I think it's a bad assumption to think anything when it comes to money about this regime, right? This particular GM, right? I know one thing for sure: they're not going to overpay anybody. So if the market is 3.5 for Montgomery to re-sign or $4 million, they're going to offer him market value and say take it or leave it, right? They may give him a little bit of money on top. They may give him some upfront money in terms of a bonus. that sweetens the deal for him. But I know for sure this team is not going to overplay nobody, and I don't know that they would factor that in. When here's the thing, right? You're on the field, you're coaching, right? Yeah, you got star players. Like, yeah, Justin's gonna get treated a little bit different than everybody, right? But David is not that much of a star where he can come out there and be like, oh yeah, you're my big money guy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna save some reps, we're gonna give you special or preferential treatment. David is fighting for his life right now in terms of his career in Chicago, right? Now, he has a better attitude about it than most going into the last year of his deal. And he's like, hey, it's in God's hands. I'm going to let it chips fall where they may, blah, 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 blah. He has a better attitude than most, right? But there's no guarantees, bro. And I will say this. Khalil Herbert's effort in blocking is helping David Montgomery's case to stay. Because I'm gonna tell you, Treston Elbert is just as bad as Khalil Herbert in at pass pro. I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. I said this on a couple shows ago, like 3 or 4 shows ago. Listen, I can go right now to Hillsborough County in Tampa, Florida, and find me a running back right now in high school that could probably run behind our offensive line and run our plays, run our counter plays, run our power plays, run our toss plays, and have success at running the ball right now out of high school. I can find a kid in Florida or Texas right now that could run in the NFL and run the ball, actually run the ball behind the offensive line and get positive yards, know how to cut, know how to pick out holes and get yardage. The difference between an NFL running back, a guy that's going to have staying power, and a guy that's not, is their ability to block. You ask any running back coach that, probably in the NFL, he'll sit down and tell you the difference. You know what's going to be? Because guess what? If it's 3rd and long, or we're going to throw the ball on 1st down, if you can't block, listen, teams, I got a homework assignment for y'all. Take any series during our next game, and I want y'all to watch the offensive line. This is how you know if you know football or not, right? This is how you're going to learn the game of football. I want y'all to take 1 series or 2 series during the game next week, this coming up week, and not watch the ball. I want y'all to watch the offensive line. Strictly, just watch the offensive line for a series or 2 or a drive. Watch the offensive line. And I want y'all to tell me how many times we actually block with 5 men only. We go 5-man protection only. That's your homework. When you start doing that, you'll start learning the game of football, and you'll start seeing the game differently. You rarely block 5-man protection in a football game. So that tight end, that running back is an extension. He's an extension of that offensive line. I appreciate y'all saying that, throwing that up there. G Station said Harrison Jr. OSU's top choice next year. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I think it's happening. The way it is going right now is what it always is. It may be meh right now when it comes to, or they might be considering those guys to be mid in terms of wide receiver class right now. But y'all know, as the draft gears up and as we get close to the draft, guys always do the same thing. It's a market, and the hype makes players more than what they really are. I don't know. It's too early for me to start looking at draft candidates, so I don't know. I wouldn't assume, I'll put it this way, I wouldn't assume that we are going wide receiver first or second, the first out of the first or the second round next year. I would think the focus is definitely going to be, if we don't sign a free agent 3 technique, then I would expect us probably to use that 1st round pick on a 3 technique. If there's a difference maker at that pick. If it's not a difference maker, somebody that's a game disruptor, a rare talent, then we probably won't get him there. But I wouldn't assume anything with these guys on that board, and I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed if we didn't get a a wide receiver at the first 2 rounds next year. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, again, dude, you're not getting off the bus. This is the NFL. You're not getting off the bus. You're not getting off the plane, and you're gonna light up the league just because you were drafted in the first round. You're a rookie first rounder. He's still gonna have to be developed. He's still gonna have to be coached. You know, ain't no freebies out here. It's not a track meet. It's an actual football field. This is actual guys out there tackling and will knock your head off. So yeah, I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in that. I would just say, hey, shore up the defense. We definitely need to do something up front on the defensive line. Those guys are horrible in terms of their filling their gap fits and all that other stuff, and just doing a good job of doing their job. Coach T, do you see Poles sign a center or drafting one due to Patrick not staying healthy? That's a key question, man. I don't know how to feel about Lucas Patrick. I think we need to get him back. Need to get him back healthy and get enough games reps in there. Now we've signed him. We got him under contract. So taking that into consideration, I don't believe that they're just gonna they pump and dump on a player because he had a bad or unhealthy year. We got money on the books for him. So, and then you have to keep in mind too. This is I think fans have to be, and we're all fans, but we have to. This is why I say we got to take the video game fantasy football aspect out of it, right? When it comes to football, and Ryan actually said that in his press conference, like they actually have relationships with these dudes. It's not fantasy football, man. We got to take that aspect out of it because you got to understand if you sign a guy, it's just not you signing a guy. It's a player actually choosing to sign that contract to come and play with you as well. So if you sign a guy's unhealthy, he has a rough year, he's unhealthy, and you go out and you give up on him, then it's 53 other guys in that locker room. They're seeing that. They're seeing how you treat players. You know what I'm saying? They saw how those players paid attention to how Robert Quinn left. They paid attention to how Roquan left, especially the younger players. Now the vets got to go back and coach them up a little bit and let them know, hey, this is football. This is the business side. This is not college. It's not high school no more. A guy can be here today, gone tomorrow. Like you have to be attentive to how you handle players in a locker room because locker rooms are more fragile than a lot of people think they are, right? We got cliques up in there. You got things, guys are cool. It could go south real fast. So I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do it right now. I would give them time to get healthy. I'll give them a year or two, and I would judge it then. I wouldn't go crazy on signing the center, right? But again, we have the luxury of 8 picks, and really we just need to, we get a couple bodies on offense, a couple bodies on defense, and play some good ball. Vody says you got to draft BPA. I don't know what that means. I see you, Coach. Just got off work. Hey, what up, Swift? What's up, man? I sent you the link if you want to link up here in a second. I know you just got off work. No, Swift. Fantasy football is not awesome. No, it's not awesome. I'm not going to agree with you on that. It's not awesome. Coaches, I'm going to tell you straight up, coaches hate fantasy football, by the way. I've never met a coach that liked it. If he was like a get back coach or something. He wasn't like a coach. He's like a get back coach. He was the coach that made it. He stood on the sideline and told everybody to get back. Or he was like a strength and conditioning coach or something. Coach of New England says stats are for losers, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I hate stats. That's why I don't play. That's the key reason why I don't play. What do you say? If you truly understand the game, you know who is going to get the stats. Nah, you're not selling me on that. You have a better chance of selling me ice in Alaska to selling me. Nah, nah. That's not so y'all gonna have to explain to me, right? Because it's not fun. By the way, Don Bird's in the building. You finna get that smoke this week, buddy. I'm going ahead and let you know right ahead of time, since you already in here. And we haven't seen you all year, by the way, in none of the usual chats. But here we go. But I'll tell y'all this: like, so when if you have to choose between, and I'm gonna tell you the difference. If you have to be and choose between understanding the nuance or how we got to the numbers, right? The strategy of it all, right? Or how we got to the numbers and have an understanding of how we got to the numbers, or just having the numbers, which one would you choose? Which one would you choose? See, watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna challenge y'all on something. I'm gonna challenge you on something, right? I can look at stats and come up with a conclusion, and I'll have stats and I'll come up with a conclusion, right? I can have a debate with a stat guy and I'll win every time. If we're having a football debate, I will bet a paycheck on it. If I'm having a football debate with a stat guy, right? And I'm not saying they don't have value. Yeah, you have. It's like this, right? I use data to do what I do for a living, right? To make strategic business decisions for companies, right? We use data, right? But one of the things we don't do, one of the rules I have that I don't do is we can't use data. We can't use data without having our SMEs, our SMEs, our subject matter experts, right, to come around and confirm the data. The SMEs actually come up with the theory of what's actually happening in production, in the market, or whatever. The data only comes along to confirm or deny the theory I already have. I don't judge anything off of data alone for business. Most business practices they won't do that. That's why when I have a debate with a stat guy and we're going head to head about football, I'm confident I'm gonna own them every time. Because all I got to do is pull up the film, right? And the moment I start breaking down the film, and I can tell you I can look at a play and tell you what the play is, whether it's outside zone, inside zone, duo, fold, trap, power, counter, quick toss, Z fly sweep. If it's a pass play, I can look at it and tell you what coverage it is. 3-2-1-3 match, 6-5, whatever. And then all you have for me is stats. I'm gonna win every time. I'm a smoke on that stat pack every time. Every time. I'm 1,000% confident in that. Every time. You can't have a debate. You can't have a football debate with only stats. That's why I encourage you guys to learn the nuances of the game so you can be able to, you know what I'm saying? You can smoke on that Don Bird pack like we're gonna do this weekend, right? You can smoke on that Don Bird pack. See, we have Don Bird appearances this week, by the way, because they beat Green Bay. Shout out to y'all, by the way, for taking care of the Packers. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be mad at you at all. Anytime the Packers lose, then I'm gonna shout you out anyway. So shout out to y'all, but nah, y'all finna get ready to see us this week. By the way, it's a Bears home game at Soldier Field, and I just left from up there, by the way, and it's already going to be probably, you know, old man winter going to be coming through. I just want y'all to know that it's going to be pretty ugly for y'all. By the way, guys, we got 4 division games left, man. That's why I'm not totally out on this team yet, right? I'm not out on this team growing up and potentially making some noise. Coming towards the end part of the season. One, because we have 4 division games left, right? And it's still time. And Green Bay's looking like they don't want it at all, right? So I'm telling y'all, somebody's going to, I'm not saying we're going to make a playoff run, but somebody's going to make it interesting the last 4 weeks of the season. And they're going to start being, when they start throwing up the stat of, who's in the hunt and who's not. I'm saying, if your team is on an upward trajectory and you're starting to build offensively, you know, we can have some growth on defense, right? We can have some guys grow up and mature, which I thought on a couple plays during our last game, we did have a couple guys grow up a little bit. But they just gotta start playing a little bit more consistent. Swift said Marvin Harrison Jr. is a sophomore. He won't be in the draft till 2024. There y'all go. See, there you go, killing it. Swift already on it. That's what I'm saying. The big name guys that I think that are supposed to be there. There's a guy in Tennessee. I think they said is pretty decent. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's work enough covering this team. And dealing with people on Bears Twitter. It's a full-time job. I don't have to. I'm not ready for the draft yet. I'm not at all. That was Quinn's first year here. Oh, you said that was what after last year? Yeah, but that was what, under what regime? I don't know. I don't have context for you. BPA is the best player available. Who is BPA? Somebody help me out there. We got extinguisher for the smoke. Don Bird, y'all got extinguisher for the smoke? Hey, Don, listen, bro. I tell you what, man. Bro. You know I've been waiting on this one. Bro, where that smoke been all season, though? That's what I want to say. Where the smoke been all season? That's right. Sunday we'll be smoking on that bird pack. I might have to do a little meme or something. All right, Swifty, we gotta do a meme or something. We gotta get that bird pack. Gotta get that bird pack ready for Sunday because we're gonna be smoking on that bird pack. Listen, man. Yeah, Hyatt from Tennessee. Hyatt's pretty decent. Again, I just don't think. I don't think we go out there and reach. I mean, we gonna rack and stack our boards, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do differently. By the way, man, do me a favor, hit the random likes up. Let's get the algorithm busting. My graphic is acting stupid right now. None of my graphics, act like they want to work, or they act like they want to work when they want to work. Yeah, Mike. That's been a Don Bird sighting, right? We haven't seen Don all year. I'm gonna tell you what Don been doing. He don't know I know I'm on to him, right? I got Secret Service guys that got his info. Don has been running aliases in the Bears press conference comment section on the Bears official site. In the comment, he been running aliases Matt Nagy. He's running aliases other players. Don, we know it's you, bro. So you might as well go ahead and speak up. There you go, R&R. Renewable Rechargeable Review said, bro, that's it right there. That's the approach. Best player available at any position. That is rated on our board. That's the best approach. In my opinion. Rack and stack your board, and you just draft the best player available that's on your board, right? You get through the draft, you see what you have, and you see where you have potential game breakers or game changers, and where you don't. But again, I want to say this to the fans, right? Also, keep in mind, man, that these guys, when I say these guys, this staff, Pose, Flu, and the assistant coach, position coaches, they are counting on their ability to develop players. They are counting on their ability to develop players. I cannot emphasize that enough. They believe that they can develop players. Even with this defense we have right now, right? Even if the defense we have right now, the players we have right now, these guys have the mentality that, hey, I got 9 more weeks. You got 9 weeks to get better, right? You got 9 weeks to get better. My assistant coach got 9 more weeks to coach you. We got 9 more weeks to put stuff on film and master 1 or 2 things here and there to make you a better football player. And the expectation is when we get to the end of the season, you're going to be better at the end of the season than you are now. They truly believe that. So why not rack and stack your board, trust your board, and they're putting the emphasis on, hey, you don't just wear the title coach because it's a cool title. I expect you to actually teach football players how to play professional football. I believe that's the mentality. So right, top to bottom, and I think it's a great thing. I think it's a fantastic thing because again, it's what I said earlier. It's guys, get out of the mindset, Bears fans, get out of the mindset of, oh, big name such and such is out there. We got to grab him because we got a hole right here. And we don't care how much we pay him. We're going to bankrupt the franchise for the sake of paying player X or whatever. Or would you put the pressure on your coaches to coach and develop players, and you turn crap into sugar? I started to say something else. You turn crap into sugar, right? You take a rookie fifth rounder and make him a Pro Bowler, and then, you know what I'm saying? You're playing with house money. What do you think is more long-term or sustainable? What do you think is more sustainable for the long term? Going out there and signing big name free agents to big high dollar contracts and having guys coming in, having just got paid, and the lethargy they come in with, oh, I just got the fat check. Now they come in, wide receivers come in 20 pounds overweight because they've been eating crab legs all off season because they just got the big bag, right? I mean, you can look at the guys we paid this year. And I'm not picking on anybody, but look at the guys we paid this year. We brought in Patrick, hurt. We brought in Pringle, hurt, right? We haven't seen those guys. It's high risk, low reward. Now, the other hand, you get some young, hungry kids, 4th to 6th, 7th round, they just want to play ball. You develop them over the long term, you make them into a star. You ain't got to worry about them big contracts. You pay the guys that deserve it. We know one thing, QB1 gonna get that bag. You pay that guy, but then you make all those. That's why I say, we said this in the offseason. That's why the mentality that the system is the star. You develop a system, that way the parts, the pieces are interchangeable. Oh, wide receiver X want 25 million a year to play wide receiver. Oh, no problem. I got you, but go ahead and walk. I tell you what, next guy up, plug and play, because we develop a system and we develop, oh, okay, we've been running this forever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell y'all, what's the problem with Green Bay right now. I knew Green Bay was going to have a problem when, y'all help me get his name right. Was it Ted Thompson, the GM that was there, who passed away, he left the franchise first. He ended up passing away, right? I think it was Ted Thompson. I knew Green Bay was going to be in trouble when that guy left the franchise because that guy had a system. He had a system. He drafted players to fit their system, and you came up in that system, and they made more stars than what was. They made guys that shouldn't have been stars. I don't think Antonio Freeman is Antonio Freeman if he goes and plays anywhere else but Green Bay. I don't think a lot of those running backs that became great Green Bay running backs are stars anywhere else, right? If they don't play in that system. And that's what we're trying to build here. Look at all the guys that have won Super Bowls in New England. That you probably wouldn't know them. You would probably recognize them on the street if they walked past you. You wouldn't recognize them. You wouldn't know them from Adam. They got Super Bowl rings. Yeah, I got a Super Bowl ring. I played with the Patriots. Who? All the no-name guys that played with the Patriots because they had a system. We got to adjust our mindset. We got to adjust our mindset. So here's the expectation. Here's a prediction, right? Here's the hot take, if you will. I already went on the limb and said this already before. I said weeks 8 to 12, we're going to see Justin Fields go off, right? I'm on point. Don Burt, what are you doing? You don't smoke clean lungs. I've been on the very anyway, I'm reading Don's comment that got blocked. So let me check the schedule out real fast. And I gotta go up eat some chili. Watch this. Next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, I'm seeing this offense continue to evolve and grow. Lions, Falcons. This offense is going to continue to grow, right? Definitely against the Lions, I believe we're going to put up some points. We're going to see major steps taken forward. Hopefully, that's going to be from the receivers, right? Claypool, Mooney, and one other guy. I want to see a guy emerge that's not named Claypool and a Mooney. I'm going to assume Mooney, Komet, and Claypool are going to get theirs, right? But I want to see a guy emerge that's not those three guys. By the way, those are three guys. If you think about them together and where we're headed and how they're trending, those are three dudes. But I want to see a guy that's not named those three guys emerge as a football player. Somebody that's actually adding to this team on both special teams and offense, right? Giving us a jolt on special teams, maybe in a return game, and also on offense making plays. I'm going to put my money on Pettis, right? I'm going to put my money on Pettis. Pettis has been a fringe guy, but I feel like he plays hard, and he's actually out there giving effort, right, in all phases, right? So I'm going to put my money on Pettis, right? Maybe Byron comes back and becomes the X factor. I don't know. But I'm expecting the next 2 weeks that we're going to continue to ball out, right, on offense, right? And then Detroit and Atlanta, I think we're going to hit a wall. I'm expecting I'm expecting us to hit an offensive wall either with Atlanta or the Jets. Because here's the thing. This offense is somewhat of a new offense to a lot of NFL defenses. They haven't quite adjusted to our offense yet. But there's enough film out there so far. And Luke's doing a great job of mixing it up. But there's enough film out there. I think the league is going to start catching up with our offense a little bit and what Luke is doing. That's normal. So I think Detroit, no, they don't stand a chance. We're going to smoke them. I think Atlanta or New York, our offense is going to go back in the struggle mode for a little bit. And Luke is going to have to evaluate and evolve the offense again. When is the bye? The bye is, I think, between the Packers and Eagles game. And I think that's when we're going to see it, right? I think we're going to see the evolution, the second evolution of this offense the last 4 weeks of the season, right? So a lot of our over 200-yard passing games are going to actually come probably when they shouldn't, right? There's going to be Eagles, Buffalo, Detroit, Minnesota. Those games, I believe, we're going to actually see the second evolution of this offense. And when people saying, oh, yeah, well, Justin's lighting up the lead and breaking records, it's all rushing. Where's this over 200-yard passing games? I believe you're going to start to see those the last 4 weeks. Next 3 weeks, you're going to see some more running, dynamic plays, focus on run heavy, Justin making plays with his legs. Detroit, some in Atlanta, but I think there's going to be a little bit of lull in the Jets, and hopefully not, but maybe in the Packers game. We've been on the road how many weeks? 1, 2. I think Detroit will hit them. We'll get them pretty good. I think we may struggle a little bit on offense in Atlanta. and maybe a little bit with the Jets. But I think we're going to hit a wall after the Detroit game a little bit. I hate it because I'm actually going to that Falcons game. But I think we may hit a wall with Atlanta and New York where Luke is going to have to flip this offense and self-scout in the bye week. And he's going to have to kind of reinvent himself as a play caller again, because teams are going to start adjusting to Justin's willingness to run, right, and spying. And they may get us by overwhelming us with a lot of blitzing and stuff like that. But somebody's gonna say, hell no, we not sitting back and letting this dude go crazy, running all over us like it's parking lot football. Somebody's gonna get the message and make it happen. We're gonna hit a wall. It's not gonna continue to be 30s throughout the season, or we start going into the 40s. We're gonna hit a wall. We're gonna get a little humbling at some point, and I believe it's gonna be either the Falcons or New York game, and then we're gonna see the last 4 weeks of the season. We're gonna see this offense take another step and grow up again. So that's my prediction. I say we're gonna continue to play ball. Right, Justin's gonna continue to have a good season, but I think at some point we got to get humble, and then we're gonna have to evolve this offense again. Let me know y'all thoughts down in the comment. I appreciate y'all joining me for tonight. A little bit over an hour. Just wanted to jump on since I'm on vacation. I get to stay up all hours of the night, but not really. Get a little R&R, man. Get away from the job for a little bit, and just relax a little bit for reset before we hit the holiday season. If you're headed down to Atlanta for the Atlanta Falcons Bears game, holler at me, hit me in the DM on Twitter. Let me throw the info up there so you guys know where you can find me. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Where are we at? Where'd Don Bird go? I was looking forward to some more smack talk. Let's see. Rihanna said, right, Coach, look what we did for the Look what it did for the Jaguars this year. I don't know where you made that comment on the end of, but I agree. Valus has to step up, man. Has to step up. I agree. James, let me get your comment on the screen, man. Because I agree 1,000%. I think Valus is he's in a critical moment of his football career right now because he has guys that's above him, and he has all the athletic ability player in this league. I think he needs to stop overthinking and just play football. Catch the ball, run with the ball, protect the football, and just be dynamic. He's been playing this game since he was little. Just keep playing it, man. Just play it. Just play carefree, right? But just secure that ball, right? Catch the football on special teams. When you run it, secure it. And just be patient. Don't try and force nothing, but just play ball, have fun. I think he's just overthinking the game a little bit. But I'm definitely rooting for Valus Jones Jr. to get back in the lineup, crack the lineup. But it's going to be tough because Pringle's coming back. Pettis is there. EQ is there. Of course, Claypool is there. Booney's there. That wide receiver room is crowded right now. It's going to be somebody that's going to be an odd man out. And hopefully, Valus steps up, man, over the next couple of weeks. Listen, man, I'm getting a little bit fatigued over here. Listen, tired of talking to myself. Listen to myself talk. Look, I'm so tired, getting tired. I'm getting tongue-tied. But anyway, man, it's been fun hanging out with y'all. Listen, thanks for joining me real fast. My guy Swifty in the comments. I'm going to catch up with you in a bit. I'm going to probably be on a couple more times during the week because I'm off and talking Bears football. So hopefully my guys can join me this week. But until then, man, bear down. Stay encouraged. Look forward to the future, man. Enjoy the process. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Bear down.